What's going on, guys? I always say that because you never know when y'all might be watching these videos. You may be watching them back to back right when I post them. You may be watching them 2 months later. Anyway, a little something new in front of me. This is my youngest son's new rifle. What is it, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. It's a good question. This is a Mossberg MVP. This is a bolt-action rifle. This one is chambered in 5.56. And yes, it is a 5.56 chamber. It's right there on the barrel. And it takes AR-15 magazines. My youngest son, as he was growing up and getting older, consistently always wanted 2 guns. And he's been fairly steady about what he's wanted. He hasn't really wavered. He likes the idea of being able to reach out at a distance. If there's a threat, he likes to be able to engage it a long way away. Can't say I blame him. I've always enjoyed long range shooting myself. I had a really nice Remington 700 LTR years back that I was absolutely in love with, and unfortunately financial issues had to make some decisions, and I had to let that one go. The good thing is it is riding at home with a good friend of mine, so I can still see it on occasion if I needed to. Unfortunately, I don't have it. Video's not about that. Video's about this. So this was one of the first guns he wanted. Before I get into this one, the second gun that he wanted was something to pair with this. He wanted it small, wanted it compact, wanted it easy to manipulate and work. And in his words, something that for close quarters, if something somehow got past him with this. That's where he's kind of been up debating and not sure exactly what he wanted. And I'm going to take another cup of coffee in hopes, there we go, see it, listen to me. He's always up in debates about what he wanted in that role. After my wife and I both having gotten our Palmetto State Army 9mm AR pistols, that just tripped his trigger, and he was like, yep, that's it. I want one of those little compact 9mm AR pistols to go with it. That's 2 guns he wants. So he's got a MMP 15 22 AR that he's been shooting since he was, him and his brother both, since either one of them were too small to hold them. Now they've, I won't say outgrown them, they're just way beyond 22s. My boys are getting grown up. That's a good thing. Sometimes Dad doesn't like that. Anyway, I'm not going to delve off in that set of weeds. This gun, again, Mossberg MVP. They make these in a couple of different calibers, a couple of different stock configurations. This particular stock configuration has an AR-15 style pistol grip on it and takes an AR collapsible stock. There's a regular mil-spec buffer tube on here. You've got a fluted mid-weight barrel. It's not a heavyweight, but it's not a lightweight. You've got threaded muzzle, which was really cool because it's half by 28, just like an AR-15. So standard AR muzzle attachments will fit on it, much like this Vortex flash suppressor. We'll probably be changing that out for a little something else that we've got plans for. Update video down the road on that one. Again, it takes AR-15 magazines, comes with a little 10 rounder. Any AR mag will fit. Now, I say that The one exception is we've tried, and I don't have it in front of me, darn it, I meant to get it. We've tried PMags, because those are kind of my favorites. They'll fit, but you can, they don't fit like a metal mag does. I think the way they designed the mag catch and the magazine well and everything was really around metal GI mags. Lancer mags fit really good. So I'm probably going to pick him up a couple of the 20 round Lancer mags because I really like Lancers too. I'm probably going to pick up a couple of those for him to try. In the meantime, I've got no shortage of 20 round metal GI mags, and they fit just fine. I didn't really see a reason to get 30 rounders in this one, just because for a bolt gun, I think 20 rounds is more than enough. Heck, the 10 rounders is probably more than enough. The 20s just make it so you can go a little bit longer if you've got a whole bunch of zombies to drop. So we've just got an extra spare Harris bipod that we had laying around. This is a short one. We'll probably upgrade that at some point. Probably the two very first things I'll do is actually three. Number one, I'll probably swap out the pistol grip for something a little different. With the way this drops down and where the trigger is located at, with this being an A2 style grip, the finger groove right there, it puts it in an awkward spot. It's not really where it needs to be at. So I'll probably swap that out. Not sure for what yet. We'll figure that out. This is just a plain old GI stock on there. Probably put a Mackerel stock on there. Probably a CTR. That way we can lock it down and get rid of that little bit of wobble. Finally, and probably the most important thing we're going to do, this is just a cheap Bushnell 3-9 scope I had laying around in the parts pile that we threw on there. This bad boy begs for a primary arms scope. I've got to figure out which one I want to put on there, and then go from there. The only way this rifle actually come about for him is due to my good friend Neil over at Gun Gallery down in Jacksonville, Florida. If you're in the southeast Georgia, northeast Florida area, make the trip to Jacksonville, go over to Gun Gallery and see Neil. He'll definitely take care of it. So I appreciate him working with me on this and what we had to do to get it. And of course, the biggest way we got this is thanks to my dad. He really helped out a lot with this because Grandpa wanted his grandson to have a good rifle. The oldest one's already got his AR that we put together, and Grandpa helped out with that. So Grandpa wanted to help out with this one too. So hey, who am I to get in between a grandfather and his grandson, right? We took this out, put a few rounds through it, not a lot, just to kind of function check it. Not that a bolt gun you got to do a little function check with, but you still need to. To our surprise, I've got a feeling that with a good scope on here and some good ammo, I think this sucker's got some potential to be a good tack driver. I really think so. And with my son behind the trigger and everything that youth brings with it, as far as steadiness, breathing, eyesight, all that kind of good stuff, I've got a good feeling that with not a whole lot of practice, you will not want to be on the other end of this gun if he's behind the trigger. So, not a whole lot else I can go into right now, guys. I'll just show you some of the simple things of it. I mean, you've got it's a short throw bolt because it's just 5.56 chambering. You've got your safety up top right here, easy to manipulate. There's a lever on the back side. You pull your bolt out. You've got a nice fluted bolt. Give it a little extra strength. Yeah, you know, this isn't a $1,000 precision gun, but I think it's got the capability to give some of those more costly guns a run for their money. I'm really interested to see where this goes. I've owned Mossberg stuff in the past myself. I've always loved Mossberg shotguns. You know, the 500s, the 590s are, you know, they're indestructible and timeless. This is my first Mossberg rifle. It's not really even mine. I've got to ask permission from my son to be able to shoot it, or so I've been informed. We'll see who buys the ammo and how much that holds true. Anyway, it's got their AccuTrigger in it that reminds me of the same trigger that Savage puts in a lot of their tactical rifles. It's got a lever here in the middle that, don't ask me how it works, guys. That's one thing, unfortunately, I can't explain to you in detail. I've still got to read up on that and learn it myself. All I know is that this gun, out of the box with not very many rounds through it, it's not a featherweight trigger, but it ain't heavy by any stretch. It's got a nice trigger pull. I imagine a few rounds through it, get that mechanism all polished up in there, it'll get even better and won't really need any work done to it for what we're doing. Anyway, brief overview. If it keeps doing like it's doing, I'll say Mossberg. I think you knocked this one out of the park. Not that Mossberg would ever be paying attention here, but once I start doing some upgrades to this for him, we'll get you a little more range video, some update video. Got something really cool planned that my buddy's going to help us out with, so we'll look forward to bringing that to you maybe in a couple of months. We got to wait on a few things to happen first. So this is my youngest son's new rifle. Both of my boys are now equipped. Cool thing about this, it fits standard with all of our other guns. 5.56 chambering, takes AR mags in a pinch if need be. I could hand him one of my mags, he could stick it in there and make it run. So I like that compatibility. I like, for logistic reasons for us, I like how that keeps everything. So, got any questions? I'll try to answer them. Hit me up. I'll be sure to give more range reports as we get out some more with it. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we'll catch you another one, guys. Thanks. Good.